Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce our lovely guests today. So we have Tamlin Hall here, as well as his team member Ababakar, and we are so excited to have them with us today to tell us a little bit about their work with Hope Givers and Hope Givers Live. So these are programs that are Emmy Award winning and nominated programs. And so they are uplifting youth-based mental health programs. They were created by Connected Content, which is the Georgia-based nonprofit that Tamlin Hall is the founder and executive director of. And so he's going to discuss these programs and how they highlight protective factors for our youth and create strong outcomes by combining digital media with also their in-person storytelling and programming. So we are going to pass it over to Tamlin and his team and go ahead and take it away, y'all. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having us. If you can't hear me, let me know. My name is Tamlin Hall. I am the founder, ED of Connected Content. We have some really, I don't know, authentic programming, cool stuff. I don't know. We often don't know how to say what we do too well. But I brought two of my team members, Babakar and Elliot, with me, and so we've got some youth-led programming that we've been doing for quite a while. We have won an Emmy for our uplifting teen mental health series. It's on PBS. We're going to give you all the info. Usually I come to these and I can't even remember to put my email in a contact info. So Elliot is going to be moderating the chat and he's going to throw a whole bunch of stuff in there. So just copy and paste it on your computer. And if you got questions, just reach out to us later. I think we're going to have some questions later at the end of this. But originally, let me just give you kind of like an origin story of how all of this existed for us. Is that I grew up in LaGrange, Georgia. And I don't know if anybody knows where LaGrange is, but I graduated from LaGrange High School, go Grangers. And then I entered into my world of not being in Georgia. So I was in Florida and I was in LA for about 13 years. I went to grad school at UCLA, lived in New York and stuff. But my first project, when I was a junior in high school, one of my friends, Holden Layfield, he died by suicide. And it made this like profound impact in my life. He had more humanity than anybody that I'd ever met. More compassion than anybody that I'd ever seen. He was voted friendliest of his senior class. He had been diagnosed with dual diagnoses. And so when Holden passed away, I didn't realize that was going to be the catalyst for my story of my career and what I do and how I create and how I'm of service. So the first project that I did was actually a film about Holden. It's called Holding On, and you can check that out if you want to. But we did some stuff. We got. I don't even know the right words. It's like I didn't realize that there was so much opportunity for sharing stories. And I didn't realize that I could go to Breckenridge, Colorado and find out initiatives and community outreach programs and nonprofits that were there doing stuff that was promoting hope and resilience and community support. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to share that information with my friends in Valdosta, Georgia, or Augusta, Georgia, or Atlanta, or wherever. And I thought, like, how could I be a conduit of that? Like, how could I be of service? Because we are all going through things. Like, we are all everywhere, not just in your own city, but we all are. And we often don't realize how closely related all of our stories are. And we forget about that. So we got this honor at the Georgia State Capitol. And then that led to some stuff with the Georgia Department of Education. And I wanted to tell some stories. And they wanted to do something that worked with youth. And so we created the show Hope Givers. And so it's really about highlighting hope and resilience across America. And then what we realized, and I'm going to show some really boring slides, so bear with me. And so after we created this series and we had educators get on board, and I think Adam's here, Adam's from Augusta. He's amazing, 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 amazing. And has been working with us for 2 seasons now, going into our 3rd season. We wanted to do some in-person stuff. I'm from a small town, and I realized that, like, you just got to build trust with people, and oftentimes you got to see them, and you got to shake their hand, and you got to know that, like, who their mama is, or like where they grew up, or what high school they graduated from, and all of these things, because again, we're just so closely related, and connectedness is a protective factor. Connectedness does so much for us. And coming out of COVID, we realized that we really wanted to have this opportunity to go to rural areas. We're based in Atlanta, but we just have this big love for the state. So we created a proof of concept, a pilot program called Hope Givers Live that accompanies our show on PBS and our lesson plans and curriculum. And so we go and we do performance-based stuff in schools. And we realized the first day that we did that this is where it's at. It really connected the dots for us as an organization of going, wow, we've got the digital media side, we've got the accessibility. You can watch our show 24/7 anywhere, all 159 counties. You have total access to it. You can download our lesson plans that are standards aligned for health education. You can do all that. But man, like going into these schools and seeing these students and seeing our performance become trusted adults for these students, and really being able to watch and celebrate, because we celebrate counselors, we celebrate trusted adults, we do this all together. So I'm going to show you some boring slides, and then you can have some questions that are way more interesting than the slides that I'm going to have, and we're going to show some stuff. We also do a Hope Film Challenge, a student film challenge for students. Babacar's going to show a video of one of our student finalists. We just announced the finalist yesterday, Babs, on Instagram, yesterday. And all of the finalists get their film featured in our PBS series, and the winner wins $2,000, and they split that $2,000 with their trusted adult that they worked on the project with. So our educators, administrators, janitors, whomever in the school that they worked with gets $1,000 too, and they get to use it for whatever kind of hope that they want to do. So I often tell people, if the hope is going to the Bahamas and celebrating on the beach with some hope, then that's what that is. We got to give our love to our educators because they work really, really, really hard. So we try to do that too. But all of our finalists this year are from Georgia, all across the state. I think that we've reached, I think I got a slide that says 28 counties that we've had students submit to our Student Film Challenge. So first, I'm going to show us a video. If you can't ever hear the video or the sound's not good, just speak up, let me know. But last year, we were lucky enough and honored enough to be featured in Good Morning America. And so we went up to New York City, and they highlighted us in the show. So, and it talks a lot about our teens. So I'm just going to show this video, and then I'm going to start some slides.
More kindness. But there are already so many of you at home who are injecting kindness into your own communities.
Let's take a look at a nonprofit in Atlanta, Hope Givers, with the help of Lady Gaga's Born This Way Foundation. They are promoting kindness for young people in a unique way. Nice. Check them out.
It's all about empowering young people to use their voice, because our opinions and our voices are valid.
Hope Givers is a nonprofit that helps support teens to uplift their voice, to allow them a platform to use their voice through storytelling. It is a uplifting mental health and wellness series. Hope Givers has been really successful in our first season. We have won some awards. National Endowment for the Arts has supported us 2 years in a row. I think the most important thing that we have got is the support from Lady Gaga's Born This Way Foundation in their Kindness and Community Fund. Through Born This Way's foundation support,
This year we are going to schools and doing Hope Givers Live in schools. So we're actually bringing the series on public broadcasting to schools across America because we have to have youth voices. We have to have their perspective. I think that the kindness that they have shown through their humanity and their stories helps save young lives. And I've seen that firsthand.
My mental health has definitely improved since I started working with Hope Givers by helping students and teenagers realize that there are so many other people going through the same thing.
The way that Hope Givers spreads kindness is by first being kind. You cannot be what you cannot see. And so in each meeting, we end by admiring each other, by lifting each other up, and by continuing to voice our gratitude for one another.
The work is unbelievably rewarding. And I'm very grateful to be here.
Joining us now is the original Hope Giver founder, CEO, and executive producer, Tamlin Hall. I mean, just watching those young people, what's it like to see that transformation in them?
It's unbelievably rewarding to be of service. I tell my staff, the crew, talent, everybody that you won't know the lives that you touched or the lives that you may help save. And it's just being of service and just doing the work and knowing that it's in your heart and just continuing to do that.
And one of the students said it helps with her mental health.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So our series on public broadcasting is a uplifting teen mental health and wellness series. So we do a lot where we're supporting coping strategies, self-care, student-produced segments where they get a chance to really talk about peer-to-peer support and what that means for them, because us adults, we got to listen to them a little bit more. And so giving them the power to be able to share their story is so important and valuable, and it's validating for them.
And real quick, what's your dream? What's your hope for Hope Givers?
Well, so we're in our second season. We released in August, and really what we get data from youth. And I hosted the first season, as you see. I'm not cool anymore. I got voted off the island. And so, so we have a 19-year-old host, a 24-year-old host. We're doing an episode in Spanish for more inclusivity, just to bring more people to the table, to allow them to see that hope is here, it is alive, and humanity wins.
All right, well, guess what? We want to help you keep on giving, and our friend, Dr. Stacy Stevenson, heard about your story, and she's the CEO of Vibrant Doc, and like you, of course, believes that you already have everything that you need to live a vibrant life, but she's giving you $10,000 to continue with your mission.
$10,000. That is amazing. Thank you.
All right. I'm not expecting a $10,000 check today. It was awesome. It was awesome to be a part of and it's a great segue because some of the stuff that we were able to talk about in the Good Morning America, because our series did release this fall, and we got nominated for 3 Emmys. So June 15th, the award ceremony, hopefully, and our Spanish-speaking episode got nominated, and our new host, Jordan Rice, she got nominated for host for our series. So there was a lot of really cool opportunities here. So our series, as I don't want to be redundant, but resources and programs for teens, parents, educators. And one thing that we really want to focus on, and we always talk about, and we never do a really tremendous job at it, is parents. We're in schools, we're all over. We have opportunities and partners a lot of places, but one thing that I do know that we need more of is parent support. We want parents to know about what we do. We want parents to be involved. They're so busy. I'm a parent. I've got twin boys. They're about to be 5 years old. I know how busy. I know it. But if we can bring parents to the table, that's going to activate so much more connectedness and trust in what we're doing. So promote mental and emotional health and well-being. So with some of our partners, what does this include? What do we really have? And so we've got a library of content. We have 16 episodes right now. We're about to do, I believe, 6 more episodes in season 3. We can talk about that afterwards. We don't have enough time, but we've got 5 hours of content right now. In every one of these episodes, we have free standards aligned health education lesson plans curriculum for each video. They meet unfunded mandates. You can do it. You can download them for free off the Georgia Public Broadcasting website. Elliot has all this information. I'm sure he's putting it in the chat right now. He's doing an awesome job. We basically, the lesson plan's curriculum is basically yours. It's a plug and play. There is no training. There is no, how do you do this? As Adam says, as the athletic director, coach, educator, you just gotta be a human being, and you gotta have a heart for it, and you gotta be a trusted adult, and that way you own it. You own the material, and you can change it up any way you want to. You can show 1 episode, you can show 16, you can show 8, 4. You can do it Suicide Prevention Month, Mental Health Awareness Month, during homeroom, whatever that's called now. You can do it in your, community events. Counselors can do this. It's a language that we have now that we're trying to create engaging content that is uplifting, that talks about real stuff, serious stuff, but do it in a way that parents can then talk to their teenagers about, teenagers can talk to the counselors about, educators can talk to their students about, and creates this language of acceptance and love and compassion and normalizing the conversation where there is limited stigma. I know we always want to eliminate stigma, and I can tell you, we have conversations about bullying all the time. Bullying was around when I was a kid. It's still here, and we're still trying to address it, and we're still trying to figure out like that way in. But I can tell you, everything that we're doing is preventative, protective factors, and with our data and outcomes that Ellie's going to talk about, I think we're helping everybody in this room right now move the needle. We always say we are not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just showing it. Hope Givers Live, and for anybody in rural communities, listen to me. I'm from a small town. I love going across the state of Georgia. We will come see you. We will come hang out with you and shake hands with you and hug you. And we will get our performance there to make an impact with your students. So we go to rural communities across Georgia, and we have this film challenge that is free to submit. It's totally free to submit. It's totally free to submit. And your son, daughter, educator, student, anybody, all they do, they can shoot it on a phone. That's it. They just flip it around, and that's it. And you submit it. All right, these are some of the that's a picture of some of our teams doing their self-care coping strategies on our show. We shoot our studio stuff at GPB, Georgia Public Broadcasting Studios in Midtown Atlanta. And so we set up this loft set. I'm old, like I used to watch MTV back when MTV was doing music videos, and they did stuff in a studio, and it was a loft, and it looked comfortable and safe. And so we try to create this loft atmosphere that's a safe place. When you watch our show, it doesn't really look like a PBS show. I'd say maybe it looks a little bit more like an MTV show, and it's a variety show of sorts. We have all kinds of student-produced segments, student films. We do an interview with the Hope Giver. We have musical performances. We do self-care coping strategies. We have a mental health professional who gives kind of a breakdown of the episode. So we do a lot of stuff to try to engage with youth and teens in a very short amount of time. And I will show a student reporter segment shortly. So with our outcomes for our PBS show, 76% of students believe that Hope Givers can save young lives. 81% of educators believes that Hope Givers can save young lives. And if you can see this, if you see this graph, what we do is, we got red and we got blue, and then we got Hope Givers, that's purple. So we're trying to connect everybody in this, because this conversation needs all of us. They need all of us. You see all the states that we've reached, all 50. This is a picture of our Hope Givers Live. We call it an assembly, a mental health assembly. If you say a mental health assembly, you often don't get a whole bunch of 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old students looking like that. They are excited, they are happy, they are engaged. And being engaged is for us as parents, I think that our parents and educators and all of us that are trying to reach teens, we always are trying to figure out what that that golden nugget is of like getting in there. And we definitely don't have the key yet, but I think that we're trying to work through some keys to try to get something going. And I think creating for us something that we enjoy doing and we love it. We think it's fun. We think it's engaging, and we definitely have outcomes that we're kind of going around the back door through storytelling and performance and arts and advocacy to reach our teens and our youth in the state of Georgia. This is a picture of an assembly in Augusta, Georgia. We do a lot of stuff with turning off lights and playing music, and it looks like a concert. It really is. And it's a lot of fun. So this is a graph for our Hope Givers Live, which is a pilot program that we started this year with the Georgia Foundation for Public Education. We were able to go to a number of counties. And so you see right now, we've reached over 7,400 students. You see the counties that we reach. You see that these counties not necessarily are all in the Atlanta metro area. Again, I'm going to say it again for redundancy and repetition. We love rural Georgia. We love all of Georgia. 96% of students learned a self-care coping strategy and we do it. It's like a 30-minute show. It's a 30-minute show, and then we do 30 minutes for taking pictures because we have a social media influencer who comes with us, and he created a dance, and it's very popular, and students all across the state know this person. It's pretty remarkable that you're able to activate students' engagement and interest through their opportunity to meet someone or talk to somebody and engage in somebody that they know of. And I think it's a lot of fun. 88% of students can identify a mental health resource outside of school after our Hope Givers Live. 90% learned a mental health language that can be useful in the future. 91% can identify a trusted adult in their school. 1 in 4 students in the state of Georgia do not have a trusted adult in their school. 1 in 4, 25%. And we're saying 91% can identify a trusted adult at their school after our performance. And 93% felt connected to others at their school following the event. And Elliot put increase in school connectedness by 20%. I'm going to skip over this. This is our student film challenge this year.
Can I just jump in? Yeah, so those data points that Tamlin just said are from over 1,000 students. We got data from this past year. At the end of the event, we put up a QR code on the screen, and the students scan it with their phone. It's like a 30-second survey, and then if they fill it out, then they get to take a picture with the crew at the end. So I mean, we get some really solid data and quite a few solid numbers from that.
How many did you say? How many students data do we have from students?
1,027.
So these numbers are legit. And somehow we've created and managed, and we work with the schools to be able to do this. Like we throw up a QR code, we say, hey, this is what we want. You know, we want to be able to have data. We want to improve. We want to know what's working and what's not. And we gotta go to the source. We gotta go to the teens and the youth and the students to say, what do you want? That's why when you saw the Good Morning America segment, we have teen content specialists across the state that hop on Zooms. And they don't know each other. They sign up and then they hop on, have chill bumps, and they get to talk, they get to share, they get to talk about what's important in their life, what's relevant in their school, what should we be highlighting in our PBS series, who should we be highlighting in our PBS series, and we do it in a way that gives them agency, gives them inclusivity and accessibility to be able to have this program and say, I'm a part of it. To watch these students and these youth, whenever we put something in the show that they suggested, it lights up, and it's wonderful. I mean, they got a lot to say if you give them the opportunity. And I'm super old, so I don't hop in the meetings because I feel like it would limit the safe space. And so we have a teen content lead who's actually going to be, if anybody's going to be at the Mentor Conference, June 28th and 29th in Athens, Georgia, she's going to be speaking. She's going to be there. So she's going to talk about Hope Givers and what they do, which is really awesome. But we've been able to do this for 2 seasons in a row. And I tell people that I was watching a documentary one time, and it was about Menudo, the boy band. And the dude and the person who created Menudo, they were like, how did it stay so successful all the time? And he was like, once somebody reached an age, we rotated it out to a younger person. So there was always like this activeness that not everybody was 16 years old when they moved on, because I always worry about programming where it's the seniors that are incredible and they've led it for years, and then once they leave, it drops off. And so we always operate that our teen content lead, once after their first semester, their senior year, we know they're one step out the door. We know that they want to hang out, party, do whatever they do. So we go ahead and get a teen content lead before that one graduates, and we operate in this way that we feel is really important to create stability and growth. And then that's what we do. I guess we'll call it the Menudo way. Let me see if there's any. All right, so Elliot, you got anything like you got any like other data points that we did for like Hope Givers Live that I haven't said?
I think you touched the main big ones. The increase in school connectedness by 20 percentage points. We took that from the Georgia survey. The Georgia Schools Health Survey. Sorry. We took that, and that's where we got the 71% of students feel connected to other students in their school. And then from that, after the event, we have 91%. So that's over 20 percentage point increase following the event. And that's what we're all about, just increasing school connectedness, making the students feel like they have peer-to-peer support, they have trusted adults at their school. And the data reflects that.
What did you do? Okay, so we just went to Madison County and we went to Jenkins County. Again, not in Atlanta, Georgia. So when we went to Madison County, I was at that one. Tell everybody about like when our performers show up, like what do you see anything with the students? Like what do they do?
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty much as soon as it was beginning, the students came in and started coming up to the performers and immediately connecting to them, sharing stories, things they're going through, if they've fallen out with one of their friends, all the way to high school graduates. Sorry?
One of them wanted to drop out of school or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, one of them was like, I don't care about anything, pretty much. Like school isn't like interesting to me. I want to kind of do what you guys do. How do you get to that point where you're like calling your own shots? And so they're immediately being like trusted adults, and great answer they gave. They were like, if you want to go the non 9-to-5 route, you have to work twice as hard. So if you want to make it your own way, so I mean they're absolutely incredible. And it's really funny because we have this social media influencer, the Backpack Kid, who comes with us to these shows. All the students know who he is. They freak out. We at Madison County, one student recorded a video, put it on TikTok. It got 1.3 million views in a week of this student, just like of the Hope Givers Live event. And it got so bad to the point before the show that we actually had to like hide him. We were like, oh, go stand behind the bleachers, like get out of the way a little bit. And then one student comes over and goes, he's behind the bleachers. And then like they all started walking over. We're like, all right, we got to find him like a back room or something. Is there like a little green room setup we can do? And so then they put us into this like hallway behind the stage. Yeah, the students just get so excited.
Great, thank you. I'm going to show a student produced segment. We've worked with Vidalia High School, which is Vidalia, Georgia. Vidalia Onions, shout out. Like that's not in Atlanta, Georgia. We work with Marietta High School. Josh Dempsey's really awesome over there. He's Teacher of the Year. We work with Chestatee High School. Stephen McIntyre, who's actually up for Teacher of the Year in the entire state of Georgia. He's one of the 10 finalists. We work with them, and Tyson Hardy down at Jasper in Jasper. He also creates content for us. We try to engage the students in creating content because we know peer-to-peer support is so very, very, very important. So here is a student produced segment that's on in our series, and this is one of the episodes that got nominated.
With so much going.
Sorry. I had it prepped.
Hey everyone, I'm Hope Givers reporter Sophia Ariden, and today we're going to be asking people about peer support. Let's go. So, what do you think about peer support?
I think peer support is pretty cool.
Hey! So, what does peer support mean to you?
All my friends are here for me when I need them. Like if I'm at my worst, then they're always talking to me and telling me, hey, it's gonna be okay. Reminding me that I matter and that they're here for me, you know?
Peer support, what it means to me is basically when my friends support me like in and out of school, just helping me with my schoolwork that I missed, or I don't know, just in general, like support with like mentally and, you know, physically.
When you hear peer support, what does that look like to you?
When you have friends that are just there for you and just like are there for you every step of the way and help you through hard things. Let's say you're in the library and you get help with your homework, but from like another student. That would be peer support.
Say for instance, your friend is joining a team or a sport that they never done before, being there to support them whenever they're on competitions, showing how much you love them. That's what peer support looks like to me.
Show love, like give somebody a hug one day. Give somebody a kiss, they need it, you know? You never know what somebody going through, for real.
Can I give you a hug?
Do you want a hug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Peer support.
All right, so that's our segments are pretty short. That's kind of the engaging quality of it, and it allows them to have fun, and it's fun. It's them being able to share, and that's just what we're trying to do. So I'm going to end on, because I know that we're out, so we're not going to watch one of these. But Student Film Challenge, if anybody, we do it every year. You just reach out to us, let us know. We are in the finalist stage this year, but always reach out to us and let us know. But we have Emmy award-winning educational series that promotes mental and emotional health for our Georgia youth. They are free Georgia standards aligned for excellence lesson plans for educators, counselors, community leaders. Hope Givers Live assembly in schools across Georgia. Yes, rural Georgia. Yes, rural Georgia. We have our student film competition that supports peer-to-peer support, advocacy, resilience, reaching 28 counties so far. We identify effective ways to make students feel connected, valued, and loved. We have data and outcomes that promote positivity, connectedness, and trusted adults. And then our preventative programs increase mental health knowledge and life skills, career readiness, mental health literacy, resilience in youth across Georgia. And if you need any more information, that's the name of our nonprofit, Connected Content. But Elliot, I'm sure, has put a whole bunch of stuff down in the chat to let you know. But we've got a lot of contact information if you want it. And thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Tamlin, and Tamlin's team, Elliot and Babacar, for being here today. I love seeing how active everyone is in the chat and how excited everybody is about this program. We want to open it up now. We have 10 minutes left, so any questions that you may have for the Hope Givers team, now is your chance. Feel free to put it in the chat or come off mute, whatever you're comfortable with. And Elliot is putting the contact information in the chat as well, and we'll be sure to include all of that in an email after this. Andrea, you have a question?
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, I won't show my face because I'm still recovering from a cold, but this is awesome. Being from Georgia, being a high schooler in Georgia, I never had access to anything like this, so I'm just really impressed. So my job with Resilient Georgia is to think about the one issue we have in our state, which is a lack of mental health workforce. And we've talked a lot about how we have to engage people at a younger age to think about becoming mental health workforce members. So I'm wondering y'all's thoughts on, have you thought about asking them after they've had these experiences, are they more interested in getting into the field of mental health or mental wellness? And if there's any way we could support that next step for them in learning about that.
Well, I think that that's a great question, and I think that that's a strong idea. And I, from my knowledge, I might overstep, but I would love a pathway for mental health for students across Georgia in high schools, because they do tons of career pathways, and I don't know if there's one set up yet, but I would love to continue that conversation with how Resilient Georgia, we can partner on that. I see it in the chat. Yes, that's what we're talking about for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I see Meredith. Hey, Meredith. Saw you 2 weeks ago.
Good to see you. And I'll pipe in here and say that if y'all haven't had a chance to go to Hope Givers Live or see the videos or anything, you absolutely have to. It's incredible. They do a great job.
I'll pay you later. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, but as old people, do we have to go sit hidden in a corner somewhere so we don't make it uncool?
You can't come, Emily Ann. You can't be there. I can't be there. Yeah.
Overage, right?
Yeah. So when we did this, so we took this out 2019, right before I had kids. Yes. That pre-COVID, which feels like 50 years ago. With the DOE, we went to 5 cities. They did suicide prevention trainings that weren't required, but the educators, administrators, nurses, counselors, social workers were all come. So we were able to get data on our series of like, before we even produce it, like we want feedback to be able to do it stronger. And one of the notes that we got early on that has always stuck with me, somebody said, anybody over 25 is too old. I said, oh, okay. It's good to know. Good to know. So we try to, in our series, if you go to our 2nd season, we try to feature our hope givers that are more on the younger side. Sometimes it's really tough. I mean, most of the content is student oriented, peer-to-peer support is younger, but our hope givers sometimes are a little bit older, but we really try to gauge that hope giver being somewhere under 30 years old, just because we feel like they would be more engaged. The students would be more engaged in hearing about the story. So, and again, I got voted off literally, Elliot got data that said like, this host needs to bounce. He's too old. And he didn't want to tell me that.
Of course I didn't.
And I knew that I was too old, but like, it was a budget thing. Like we just did it. Like we didn't have money. So, so he was like, dude, I got to tell you, like, so we got in a couple of like some feedback and they said that you're too old, and I was like, good. I was like, all right, it's time to change it over. And we're so happy. Jordan is amazing. If you watch our show, Jordan and Rainier did the grief and loss. We worked with Cage Club on a grief and loss episode, a roundtable special, and Cage Club in Atlanta, which is, I think Cage Club is now in Noonan area, and I think over on the like Brunswick area, but tremendous organization that allowed us to partner with them, and we got nominated for an Emmy for that roundtable special. But yeah, we're really excited about our 3rd season. We're trying to get Post Malone and trying to get like J Balvin, which is a big rap. We're trying to go a little bit larger than we did the first 2 seasons, and we'll see what happens. But I think that we're going to start shooting somewhere in the next couple of months and see where we are. But we're very excited about the possibility of partnering with as many partners as possible, because we can't do this alone. I mean, we're a small entity. So as much as we can partner with people, you know, it does cost money for our Hope Givers Live. It costs us money. And so the Georgia Foundation for Public Education gave us some grant money, but we're always trying to figure out ways to offset any of the expenses that incurs with the Hope Givers Live, because traveling across Georgia does cost some money, and our talent and things like that. But other than that, like our series on PBS is completely free, and the resources, the lesson plans and the curriculum and everything. And I don't know if Adam, do you want to speak just for a second as an educator in Augusta, Georgia? He's our Hope Giver of the Year award. He won Hope Giver of the Year this year. He's awesome. I don't know if he's paying attention or not, but if he's on. Do you want to talk just for a second about like, you know, your experience? Like,
yeah, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I just real quick, you know, I think sometimes we hear these things and it sounds great, but I promise you on the tail end, when we put this in the classroom, I teach this content. I've done all of the episodes and lesson plans and everything. My students love it. We've hosted a Hope Givers Live here at Davidson. That was one of the photos of the show in Augusta. And they went crazy, as Elliot was talking about. They really get into it. And so it really is a good program. It's as easy to use as you would think. It's very, very simple. There's no prep time. There's no cost. There's no materials. It's things that are just very easy and simple, but also engaging, and it really reaches the kids and gets them to open up. So yeah, it really is just a wonderful program. I'm all in. I tell the kids, you know, when you do something, be all in and give it your best. And this is something that I truly am all in with. And anybody you meet with Hope Givers, anybody that works, the kids that are involved in it, the workers, the staff, it's just such a positive feeling. And so it's wonderful. And I just cannot express enough the need to just reach out to them and get them. They will come to your school. And this is something that should be in every school in Georgia and hopefully across the nation. I think that's how important this is. So any way that you all can support, I can support, you know, I'm definitely there. So it's amazing. I just can't say that enough. I love it.
Adam did a podcast on Georgia Public Broadcasting. You can find us called Mental Health Matters. I think Elliot's got the link, but he talks about how he implemented Hope Givers in his school and classroom and how that works. And it was about a 45-minute podcast, and it was on YouTube, so you can watch it. But it was really informative for educators, and that actually led us to the RISA over in the Augusta area, Jody Waters, who's the school climate specialist in that RISA over there. And that's how we were in Jenkins County last week, was just she listened to Adam talk on the podcast. So I think that we're almost out of time. So thank you.
I think we might have time for one more question. If anybody else has a question.
I have a quick question. Do you cater only to high school, or do you do high school and middle school?
We did middle school last week in Jenkins County.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, and we do some alternative schools thing. Like there's some schools that we have gone to that are middle school and high school combined, and that's also, we absolutely say yes to that. We say yes to those schools. Sure. Yep.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes. And Babacar, you didn't talk. You want to say like one thing? You want to just say like why? Like what inspires you about like Hope Givers? Like what? Babacar's been on our team for about 2 years, and he's the filmmaker in residence at the Atlanta Film Festival. He's amazing. He's an awesome dude.
I've just been really inspired to work with young people and like get their point of view, just the way that they shape the show. I just really love how they give us an authenticity. And they often hurt my feelings, but it's always for the good. You know, they sort of redirect us when we think we're doing something cool and that's going to get through to them. And I really enjoy that they're just willing to step up and be like, hey, I don't think this is going to, you know, this is something we're interested in, or I think you should come at it this way. So, you know, I really, really respect the fact that, you know, they're able to come to us and that they give us an authenticity that it just can't be faked.
And we're always looking at new teen content specialists, and Elliot has a link for anybody who has students or their own children, and anybody. It's a Google form, you fill it out, and then we'll reach out and have an interview or something and get you on. But it's all across the state. It's everything we do is remote, virtual for meetings. So that's how we create more inclusivity for that. So he can send that.
Awesome. Well, we are at our time, but I just wanted to say thank you so much, Tamlin, Babacar, and Elliot, for being here with us today. I'm so excited to see where this leads. And I know folks are super jazzed about this opportunities here. So we will send a follow-up email with all of the information that Elliot and the rest of the team included, with contacts if you want to bring this Hope Givers Live to your communities locally. Anything else from our team or final thoughts?
Thank you for facilitating, Nikki. This was great. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And I hope everyone has a really great afternoon. Thank you again, Tamlin and your team.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you. We're really honored to be here. So thank you.
I'm excited to see future shows or recordings of them, since I can't go.
Take my money. We'll see you in Valdosta.
All right. We'll see you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.